What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 11 of Value Town. I'm your host, ChanManV, and today we're going to be talking about the Germany event these two guys were at last week, and we're going to be talking about Mage Nerf. That's like the big topic right now. And then we're going to continue our class analysis, or the class cards analysis with the Hunter class today. And then finish things off with viewer Q&A with you guys as always, and you can post your questions in the Reddit thread just like always. Nothing different here. But what's up, fellas? Krip, Trump, back from Germany. You guys don't have to freak out. Oh my God, people freaked out last week. Like, you guys weren't here, and let me explain. Let me explain.
Had some like chump hosts filling in for us,
God.
trying to do
You're
their
not
best.
helping. You're not helping at all, man. Let me explain, guys. I mean, the YouTube comments and stuff, they were just going crazy that you guys weren't here. So, Kayuki and Hafu, guys, last second subs. They were nice enough to come and do that because we didn't realize that these the Germany setup wouldn't be, I guess, adequate for the show. So they came in, did their thing, and helped me out. So that's why, guys. I didn't plan this interview without Trump and Krip on purpose. God, you guys are crazy. But, so how's Germany, guys? Fun?
Germany is actually just like every other place in the world where you can like sit in a room and have a computer, and then you use like an RJ45 and you put it in the computer and then in the router, and then you like connect to the internet, play games.
So you didn't get a chance to, did you see the city at all or anything?
Trump wanted to do something like that, but we all made fun of him.
God damn.
So I was peer pressured into not seeing the city because of my team.
Oh my goodness. Travel all the way to Germany, didn't get a chance to see it? Well, that's hardcore Hearthstone right there. Fun time though? I mean, can you give us any kind of tidbits? I know you can't reveal results or anything, but how was meeting ECOP Trump? Was that fun?
Yeah, we have a few cool photos, great memories. He was also mean to me there, but I think it was a joking type of me, I would hope.
Yeah. Okay, well. Okay. Krip, any highlights for you? Meeting all those guys over there?
All the guys are pretty cool.
All right.
Actually, except for ECOP. ECOP was not cool.
Wow.
ECOP was like, I'm ECOP. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh goodness, we're gonna get all those.
I'm just
those
kidding.
guys
He's
on
almost
this
cool.
channel now.
He's like almost cool. He just needs a little work. Just a little bit of work.
All right. Well, look forward to seeing it. It's going to be aired first week of January, I think. Something like that,
Yeah,
right?
somewhere around there.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see some awesome production, that sort of thing. Next up, I think let's talk about the Mage Nerf, the big change that everybody's been having commenting about at least the last few days or last week. We had Eric on here last week, and we talked about it a little bit. And what's funny is when we had him on the show, he mentioned nothing about changing Mage. Like, there was nothing wrong with Mage.
I listened to it, and he was like, yeah, we're definitely looking into Mage, especially all the freeze cards. And then he said the word looking into freeze cards like 5 times. And I was like,
okay, all right.
Is that when he's going to change it? Then
Maybe
I was completely unsurprised. Like, you shouldn't be surprised at all by what he changed.
Okay, you're right, all right. So, what do you think about it? Do you think they changed the right cards? Do you think they changed, those 3 cards? Were they problematic in your eyes or not? Krip, what do you think?
I don't know. Those cards are problematic if you played aggro, because aggro wouldn't necessarily play many taunts, and you just get all your shit frozen while the giants just had their way with your life pool, which I guess wasn't fun for those guys. But since I don't play that many of those decks, I didn't find the freeze problem to be that bad. I had most of the issues in regards to doing very well and then suddenly losing to Fireballs and Pyroblast. And that is still going on, especially in Arena.
Trump, what are your thoughts on the nerf to those 3 cards?
Well, I recently did an quote-unquote interview with Monk about my thoughts about those cards, and I said, these changes are pretty severe, and the spells are now dead.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's pretty harsh. Do you think both in Constructed and in Arena, all 3 of those spells are dead?
Well, certainly more so in Arena. I think in Constructed, those also took a really heavy hit, and I'd be surprised if they managed to recover.
Yeah, so
I'm also
I think some of the talk was why they changed these 3 cards versus the ice block. Do you kind of agree with the sentiments from the community? Krip?
Ice Block is a freeze card. You freeze yourself. It didn't get nerfed.
Yeah, that's true. Tron, thoughts?
Well, it sort of also has to do with the frustration factor, because having your stuff frozen every turn isn't very fun, and it goes against their philosophy also.
Yeah.
Whereas Pyroblast sort of fits their philosophy. It's like, throw a big spell at them. I'm a mage. Get him. And they got the tricky ice block, which I think is cool. So I'm okay with it. It seems like hitting these cards have probably hurt the ice block mage enough anyways, so that even though ice block and Pyroblast may have been the more problematic cards, this will also possibly work to solve it. It's an interesting sidestep they took.
Yeah, I felt like it was either or. They had to fix one or the other. And I personally would have preferred they would have fixed ice block, just because I can understand the freeze being unfun, but it's a cool dynamic that the mage had that no other class had. You know, the freeze is a whole mechanic that is an interesting.
You think ice block was the problem? I don't know.
I think it is, just because
I don't enjoy losing an aggro mage, I have to say. When they put like a mana worm on board and it does like 15 damage by itself, and then nothing happens for 6 turns, then I get Fireball Pyroblasted.
And the aggro mage, for example. I never have that issue. I mean, in Constructed, I never had that issue, but maybe in Arena, it's a big problem. But mana worms, they're usually not a problem to remove, so they don't get crazy even if you freeze everything.
Well, in Arena, you don't always get removal. You get like creatures, and it's like mana worm. I'm like, mana worm, raptor, frostbolt.
Yeah.
Iron for Grizzly, Frostbolt, Senjin, Fireball. And then you're at like 14 life, and then you kill the mana worm with like your 5 removal.
Yeah.
Because you have to, and then you get Fireballed and Pyroblasted 2 turns later.
So do you think that
I've experienced that a lot, by the way.
Yeah, it looks
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know about you guys.
So are you seeing a lot less mages right now in Arena?
Seeing a bit less. It's just like replaced by Paladin yesterday. It was kind of weird.
How about you, Tron?
Like instead of every game after like 5 wins being Mage, it alternate between Mage and Paladin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have enough of a sample size, but I will say that I've seen a lot less mages. Like, it's one man's experience, so don't take it for what it is. But I've seen a lot less mage. I've seen a lot of priest actually, but I mean, it's hard to tell just off of one guy's sample size.
You have seen a mage with 4 ice lances, though.
I have. That was a pretty fun game.
That was impressive.
It looked fun, at least for one of the players.
Your reaction was pretty funny at the end of it. That was good stuff. Okay. Any other mention of? I mean, anything else you think result of this Mage Nerf that worth talking about? You guys have seen or observed?
Yeah, the Mage Nerf.
There's been a lot of Warlocks and Constructed.
Yeah, I've kind of seen the rise. I mean, the Warlocks have always been relevant, but kind of seen an increase in it after the Mage. Kind of makes sense, right?
I have to say that playing against Warlock is almost as not fun as playing against Mage.
I agree. What do you guys think about laddering? Like, how have you guys been doing on laddering? I wish I had more time to grind it out, but it's been kind of fun, kind of grindy. I mean, that kind of feeling of having to grind things out, I've kind of gotten from time to time doing it. But how are you guys doing on the ladder?
Well, I think it's I think it gets like a lot easier as time goes by. Like there was like one legendary guy like 3 or 4 days in, and now there's like 40.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's kind of one of those things where I think if you play enough games, you just get there. So playing like an aggro deck is encouraged because you go through the games faster. And I think it's absolutely a grind where, if you want to get high ranking, you just play a lot and then you get there.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts, Trump?
I like the new ranking system a lot, and I share your sentiment that I want to have more time to play the ladder as well.
Yeah.
I've put in like a few, try to get a rank up between every arena run, and I'll steadily get to legendary, I imagine. I
What
don't
are you
think
at
it's
now,
one of
Trump?
those. I'm at 10-ish. I think it's 10, maybe 9.
Yeah. I'm at 8 right now.
Yeah, I'm at it too.
Yeah, it just takes games because you're not going to win 100%, 90% or 100% of your games, even if you have a really, really
I
great
just
deck and you play.
I just
perfect.
feel like if I'm on a losing streak, I don't lose that much. But if I'm on a winning streak, then it goes up a lot. So
Yeah.
I
And you
don't
get the
know, it just
bonus
feels
stars
kinda
too,
skewed.
right? I think you get the bonus stars
Yeah.
up to rank 5, I believe, right? So,
Yeah, so like even that's my point. Even with a 50% win rate, when you clump up the wins, you're gonna go up. So it's just a matter of grinding games.
yeah, yeah. But I do kind
I
of
would
like
say
it.
it's
I don't
quite
feel there's much to it.
It's not quite as easy as just grinding games, since there are going to be a lot of people who don't go up to, say, 5 or 10. You do have to win like maybe 45% of your games to move up at a steady rate, or 50% or whatever, since
Yeah, but
that's just
like
how it works.
for instance, 2 days ago when I played against that one like paladin deck that I've been playing, which it's pretty close to what I've been playing. I played against that exact deck. I played it like 6 games in a row.
Yeah.
So basically, people are just copying like all the decks that are known to be pretty good, that are like the legendary peoples, and they play them pretty well, and all those people are eventually going to be legendary. That's it. You just need to be a pretty good player, copy a good deck, grind it out. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, that's the whole net decking phenomenon. I mean, you still have to play well, especially that paladin deck. I feel like you can make a lot of mistakes in that paladin deck.
With a healing, you can afford to make some mistakes against the slower decks.
Okay. Overall, though, I kind of like, at least I like the sentiments of the ladder having a goal, which I think just getting into legendary is kind of like the goal, and then once you get there, then how you rank is really dependent upon just how you, I guess, how seriously you take that part of it. But it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool having the something to work towards. When before it was just like 3-star masters, then it's just like nothing. There's nothing. You can't even tell. There's nothing that's transparent about it. So I like that. The ranking doesn't seem. It seems to be. I don't know. It doesn't. There is still some transparency that's missing in the ladder or ranking, because I was talking to Case, right, Kayuki, and he'd tell me he'd win and then he'd drop like 3 ranks or something like that. So I don't know how the ranking right now works, even in legendary.
Seems easy
I'm
enough
sure you
to
just
me.
have to
It
win
means
more. Yeah.
Kriv! Ah, you keep talking over me. I'm gonna kill you. What?
What?
What? Anyways, no, I lost my train of thought.
Okay, we were talking about legendary rank.
Right. Anyways, I'm sure that more people were playing at the same time and also won.
Okay.
That's
Well,
all.
all right. I don't think there's anything else. Oh, there was one thing left with. Let's see. I think it was somebody from the Blizzard team, Jason Chase. He was talking about just that he had some news on open beta, and it doesn't look like open beta is going to be this month. It looks like it's the opt-in for the closed beta test will end in January 7th, but it looks like everybody's getting a beta, or everybody's getting access now, I think, to Hearthstone that opted in the first place.
Well, that's pretty rude to people that aren't getting access, bro.
Well, I mean, that's what it says in this. I mean,
There's some guy out there. It's like, oh, everyone's getting access. Everyone, really, everyone.
I'm
Well,
just
I'm just
saying,
watching
man.
Krip right now, not having access, and you're making them really mad right now.
Well, that's what he says in here. He says that everybody that opted in is,
Yep.
has gotten their access. Obviously, people that they're now opting in probably haven't gotten it, but it sounds like the majority of people have gotten it, which is nice. I wonder what that number is. It's got to be 5-6 million or something. So funny.
I don't know.
You guys.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to Okay, let's do our card analysis. How about that?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Sound good? Okay, we're gonna do the hunter. I think a lot of people were talking about just the hunter changes from the previous patch, and figured it'd be a good time to talk about this class, and we can even go over some of the buzzard and UTH changes, or Unleash the Hounds changes again once we get there. But okay, let's start things off. Trump, you take the left. Krip, you take the right. Same as usual. Hunter's Mark, what do you think, Trump?
Man, I don't know. It's probably sucks, but
Okay, let me preface this. How much hunter do you guys play in Arena? Because
Decent amount.
really, okay.
yeah, reasonable amount, average.
How do you rank it? Is hunter
Way more than mage is my answer, I guess.
way more than mage? Really?
I
Okay.
think Hunter is the worst class in Arena, and probably in Constructed also. Maybe.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so getting back to Hunter's Mark.
It's probably bad, but it's hard to say for me.
Okay, Krip.
I mean, it's pretty bad, but it's it's still like a level above like Wisp and Gold Footman and stuff. So when you see those cards like Wisp, Magma Rager, Hunter's Mark, you're like, yeah, Hunter's Mark. And then sometimes you get some good hunter marks as you play your matches.
Yeah. Okay. Arcane Shot. First DD
Arcane
spell.
Shot's it's pretty good.
Mhm.
Arcane Shot is above Hunter's Mark. So you're like, yeah, Hunter's Mark, Magma Rager, Arcane Shot. Yeah, Arcane Shot.
All right, Trump.
It's a good basic card. I would consider this a good replacement for 2, which is really important for Hunter since your hero ability doesn't affect the board.
Mhm.
So you need to pick up You need to pick up a lot of 2s, and Arcane Shot counts.
Good point. All right, let's move on to Bestial Wrath. This card, I've always tried to figure out the best way to play this card, and I still haven't figured it out. So, Trump, any thoughts on this card?
I've got a really good strategy for how to play.
All right, let's
Bestial
hear it.
Wrath.
Let's hear it.
So you have a beast out on the table, and then you play the Bestial Wrath, and then you kill something with your beast. It's pretty good if you have beasts. Unfortunately, it's still not that great. Mostly because you need beasts, which aren't guaranteed.
Okay, Krip.
I've been punished by this card a few times. Basically, it's like this. The board gets wiped around turn 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they play a young Dragonhawk. Like,
Oh.
lol, young Dragonhawk. And then you play like 2 3-drops. And then you Bestial Wrath to both of them.
Oh,
That's
nice.
happened a few times. Yep.
Oh, that's cool. I've never seen that, so that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on to Flare. Flare has been the card that was basically the counter to Ice Block Mage, and I've actually still lost to it even after the patch. Whenever I tried to play Mage and Constructed. What do you guys think of Flare? Grip.
I mean, most rares are pretty good, but sometimes it's like, Mana Addict and Flare and some other trash. So, yeah, Flare.
In Arena, it's definitely probably useless in Arena. Trump, what do you think?
I actually think it's an average card, not useless, because
Okay.
it's one of any card that's 1 cost, which will sometimes get you a 2 for 1, and always gets you a 1 for 1, is pretty good.
Okay.
Gets Blood Imps, gets a lot of the secrets. It's good. I'd even say it's slightly above average.
All right, fair enough. And in Constructed,
think-
it's quite good.
I think it's like what Trump says, but I think any rare card that does something, you just pick that over Flare most of the time. Like Demolisher. I'm like, okay, Demolisher. You'll be like, oh, Demolisher or Flare. Yeah, that's a close one,
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, moving on. We got Timberwolf. It's usually in combo with something. It used to be UTH. Actually, UTH, it's still in combo. A pretty good combo with it. What do you think, Trump?
I think it's not worth it enough in Arena to pick it. It's a 1 mana 1/1.
Yeah.
And of course, it's meant to be comboed with your beasts. But I found that in Arena, if you try to draft a beast deck, you're going to have a bad time. Especially with the Buzzard being only 1 health now.
Grip?
This card is awful. It used to be okay with Unleash combos.
Yeah.
Now you'd have to combo the Rhino for like
That's
a
true.
10 mana, 12 damage strike, you know?
Oh gosh, I tried it. I tried a mini combo with the Rhino the other night. That's not very good.
Yeah.
All right, tracking. Grip.
Trakken's okay. I think it's like maybe a little above Flare in terms of like excitement when you pick it, but still pretty poor. I mean, if you have an arena deck just filled with decent creatures, then tracking doesn't really do much. I feel like you usually track when they play something, you're like, okay, well, I can't do anything, and then you're tracking, and then sometimes you can do stuff.
Trump seems to disagree.
Well,
It's
tracking
something
is
you
one of
said.
the best cards for the hunter. It allows you to pick the best card out of 3 and get rid of the other 2, which often you don't want to draw anyways. So I love this card.
Okay, that's pretty different. Grip, any
I'm-
retort to that?
Yeah, like it's just one of those hunter cards that you pick over other shitters. I don't pick tracking when I see like, you know, tracking even like Raging Worgen and like a Wisp and go Raging Worgen. It's like tracking's like one of the cards that, you know, you have to have some other garbage to pick this, in my opinion.
Alright, it's worth mentioning that I will pick it over Raging Worgen in a hunter deck, because you can't buff Raging Worgen in a hunter deck. The fact that you get rid of 2 cards is actually an advantage as I see it, because in a hunter deck you rarely run out of the cards, and it means those are 2 cards you won't see, which is good most of the time.
That's a good point. I like the card. Explosive Trap. All right, this is the first of the traps now. What do you think of Explosive, Trump?
I used to think this card was really good when I was starting out, since it's sort of like, oh, 2 mana, deal 2 damage to everything.
Yeah.
But every people are good enough to realize that the hunter trap that's out there is explosive trap, and they play around it, and then it becomes a lot less good, because then it becomes like 2 mana, deal 2 damage. I think it's bad, actually.
Yeah. My opinions of it have dropped too over time. Crip, what do you think?
I think it's pretty good. It's not like
Wow.
you have any other cards to kill a bunch of Zerging creatures, and I have noticed a trend in Arena where some people, instead of picking like the best cards, they just pick stuff that costs 1 or 2 mana, and they just run you down. And it's a really good card if you're getting crushed.
I mean, they do if you're talking about the 1 mana cards, because they all have 1 health, but all the 2 mana cards have 2, and particularly, like, say if you're playing a Warlock that has Imp, it's always at a range of Explosive Trap. I don't know how many times I leave units with 1 health with this card.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I wish the Spell Power, or like Thalamus or something, could combo with it well, but it doesn't, because you just kill it. You just kill Thalamus every time. Okay, Freezing Trap. This is a cool one. Crip, what do you think?
I think this is not that cool of a one.
Really? It's not
Yeah.
1. It's like a 2. Oh, well. It's a cool card, but...
Freezing Trap is kind of like a better sap, but I mean you don't get like too excited when you pick sap. Okay, it's not a better sap. It's a better sap if you're like board controlling and they play like something big. It's like super situational. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. It sucks.
Trump, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm willing to also say it's situational and might be good in a rushy deck, which your hunter deck probably should be anyways if you want any chance. I still think it sucks, though.
Actually, I mean, the times I played, well, I mean, in Arena, I don't know how it is in Arena, but the times I tried to play Control Hunter, it's actually been a pretty interesting card. Because it actually tacks on mana to the card, too, right? It's not just sap, or it just removes it. Let's see. Alright, so moving on, let's talk about Misdirection. Another trap here. What do you think about this one? A little RNG involved in this one.
Well, I dislike having a card that's sometimes slightly better than Eye for an Eye. And sometimes it's really good, because sometimes it's like Shadow Madness, but that's really rare. The card sucks. If you follow the dream, it's sometimes good, but it overall sucks.
Grip, what do you think?
I think it's okay. I've seen ECOP do some pretty fun stuff with it, and what I've noticed in Arena, it usually trolls people into thinking that it is explosive. So you have like one creature, and then you misdirect, and then the opponent just like sacks all those shitty creatures in your one creature and attacks with the big one then. And then what happens is the big one runs up to the other big one, and then you're really happy.
It's true.
Yep.
That's true. Okay, Scavenging Hyena. Grip?
Scavenging Hyena is pretty bad if you don't have a lot of beasts, but I had like one deck with like 5 Scavenging Hyenas the other day, and it was pretty good. Most people play 3/2s, so you just play a Scavenging Hyena, and then they play their Raptor, and then you play another Scavenging Hyena, and you run your one Scavenging Hyena into their Raptor.
Right. Okay. Trump?
I think Scavenging Hyena is the beginning of the trap that happens when you play a Hunter deck. When you're arenaing and you're picking, you're like, oh, hey, I got a Scavenging Hyena early. Maybe I'll pick more beasts. And then you pick more beasts, and there are more Scavenging Hyenas, and then there are other stuff which rely on other cards. And then it seems to just never end up well. I think the card is bad. It's 2 mana 2/2, and you have to really situationally play it while you have the beast in play and about to trade it.
I think we can both agree that Hunter's one of those where if you get a bunch of beasts like force picked at the start, you go YOLO beast mode and then you just pick all the beasts.
Yeah.
But if you don't, cards like these are awful. But then, you know, if you're like 20 cards in and you're like 12 beasts in, and you see Scavenging Hyena, yeah, Scavenging Hyena, you know? Feels
Well,
good.
here's the thing. I actually think that Scavenging Hyena, even if you have a beast deck, isn't that great. It's a very
I think
supporty
it is.
type card.
Oh, I think it's a pretty good card, especially with Unleash the Hounds. If you get it.
When I had 5, I would have like all these dinky beasts, and it'd be like turn 6, and then he'd play like a big card, Scavenging Hyena, Scavenging Hyena, Scavenging Hyena, and sack like 3 beasts, and then the game would end.
That's the dream. That's the dream right there.
Yeah.
No, but it combos well with Unleash the Hounds, at least the new one. You can kind of build it. You can stack those hounds right into them and build that into I don't know. A lot of times I build it into like a 10-6 or something like that, which can be pretty good.
We'll get to that card.
Yeah, we'll get to that card. All right. Let's go Snake Trap. I can never get this card to work. I've tried so many times to do a Snake Trap, some type of constructed deck, and it never works out for me. Trump, what do you think?
It's one of the traps that actually doesn't require you to do anything special to set it up. So it's pretty good. It's 2 mana for 3/1/1s. I'd play that.
Cool. Grip?
I think it's good. It makes your opponent play weird because he thinks it's either snipe or explosive, and then you play snake, and he's like, what the hell is going on? So he plays like 2 garbage turns, and then you get pretty good efficiency, especially if you have, whoa, Scavenging Hyena.
All right, moving on. I think this is the last trap, or last secret here. Snipe. What do you think of it?
Snipe's actually failed me a lot. But I'm pretty happy to pick up Snipe if I have like 2 of the Eagle Horns. In general, I try to avoid Snipe, but there's definitely some worse commons out there, so sometimes you just get Snipe.
Trump, what do you think?
Yeah, it's below average, but it's above a lot of the worst cards. It fails a lot, like Krip mentioned, because people tend to try to play around Snipe like they play around Mage's Mirror Entity, and then just drop something crappy like a Loot Hoarder or a Novice Engineer or a Scarlet Crusader, and then you snipe it somewhat ineffectively. But
Or
it's
a
okay.
Gurubashi Berserker.
Yep.
That'd be nice. Yeah, I've had the same experience. I feel like it either overkills or late game it just doesn't do quite enough damage because it's on their turn, right? The damage that's done is on their turn, so you can't follow up with any kind of damage to finish the unit. Okay, let's go on to Starving Buzzard. First card that was nerfed in the previous patch. What do you think of this card, Trump?
Well, that was a really serious nerf, and being at 1 health is a big disadvantage in Arena. Sometimes you could get away with playing the Hyena on turn 2 if you were to run a heavy beast deck to set up for something like the next card over on the right, or just any other card like or even just a Hyena or something. But now you have to play it specifically with another beast most often, and that's made it a lot worse. It's not good enough, I'd say, and I just don't like beast decks in our Arena anyways.
Okay, Krip?
Yeah, I don't know why they nerfed this card.
I don't either.
This card wasn't great before. It was like, in my opinion, maybe slightly above Scavenging Hyena level. Now it's pretty awful. If you'd play it these days, you'd have to save it to play another beast, just to like boost it. So, you have Starving Buzzard in your hand. You're like, oh, I wish I had another beast. And then Animal Companion comes along, and then on 5 you get Starving Buzzard, Animal Companion. You're like, eh. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of Animal Companion, that's the next one. What you think of Animal Companion? And for those of you who don't know Animal Companion, it ends up summoning one of 3 beast companions. One's Leok, which it's a 2/4 that does +1 to, I guess, all.
It's actually incorrect. It's not random.
It's not random?
If you have an empty board, it will always summon Leok.
Come on, that's not true.
If they have a loot hoarder, it will always summon the boar.
That's not true.
And then, like, if the stars align and you're really lucky, a Misha will come along.
Yeah, so Misha for you guys is 4/4 taunt. The boar Huffer is a 4/2 with charge, and then Leok is a 2/4 that's +1 to all of your minions on the board. Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think of this card? I mean, you obviously have bad luck with this card.
Theoretically really good.
Okay. Trump?
Yep.
Is that all? Okay, well, it's really good. It's actually one of the saving graces of being a hunter. You either get a 3-mana 4/4, which is the extreme definition of efficiency. A 3-mana 2/4 with a buff is really good. And a 3-mana 4/2 with charge is really good. So all of those are good. Of course, it's costed that way because you can't always count on which one you're getting, but you're always getting above average value.
Yeah, I like this card. I mean, I think
Are you not familiar with Huffer battling the loot hoarder?
I'm familiar with that. You, in those cases, I try to play another 3, or just take the 66% chance that you're going to get a good card.
Mm-hmm. But you get Huffer when, I mean, that's just what you get when you see a loot hoarder.
I so hate this guy. Oh man. No, you know what's funny about Leok is I think the new Unleash the Hounds change might have made Leok just a little bit better than it used to be. I used to hate getting Leok, even though it is good value. Trump, I agree with you, but I used to always hate getting Leok. But now it's not so bad. Not so bad. Deadly Shot. 3 mana.
Another one of the saving graces for a hunter. One of the best hard removal cards. That's I mean, the obvious strategy is you keep clearing the board against them, and then you Deadly Shot a big guy off, or you keep board control. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, this card is sick. I've drafted 5 of them once, and that deck went like 9-9-1 or something. Maybe even went 9-0. I don't remember.
5, nice.
Yep. Basically, when you're playing against a hunter, and you play like an Ironfur Grizzly, and it gets Deadly Shotted, you're like, oh my god, this guy must have a lot of them. So, yeah.
All right, Eagle Horn Bow.
This card is OP.
Okay.
Sometimes you're lucky enough to get 2. It's pretty rare, despite what you've seen when you queue into like blizzards. I mean, mages of 3 blizzards or something like that. I haven't gotten more than one of these that often, but when you get like 2 of them, you can just start picking up all the garbage secrets, and you can get a really good deck as a result.
All right, Trump.
Well, I'm a little shocked by your next level tactics. I think it's a nearly a strictly worst Fiery War Axe. But even though that's the case, it's still pretty good because Fiery War Axe is really good. I'd say it's slightly above average. Not quite as gung-ho about the card as you are. And I would rarely skew my deck to
That's
pick
what I
up
was gonna
Garbage
ask.
Secrets just because I had 2 Eaglehorn bows.
Okay.
I definitely would.
It does add quite a bit of damage. I mean, every time you do another durability each time, you can do 5 damage with your...
I mean, like Snipe sucks, but if you have an Eaglehorn, Snipe is good. Because even if they play like an Ogre, then you just kill it off with Eaglehorn. It's one card to kill an Ogre.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk Kill Command. 3 damage, but if a beast is on the table, it does 5 damage. So, man, when it does 5 damage, pretty good value. Trump, what do you think?
Yeah, it's really good if you can deal 5 damage with it. It's pretty... It's not too easy to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
So 3 damage for 3 is clearly not good. I'd say it ranges from slightly below average to above average, obviously, depending on how many beasts you have.
Right, Krip?
Yeah, I don't like the card too much, but if you go YOLO Beast mode and you see Kill Command, you're pretty happy. Usually, you don't go YOLO Beast mode, and you don't like the card too much.
All right, Hound Master, one of the few cards that I think buff up Beast, and I don't know. So I think it's one of the few strong, really strong minion that actually buff. What do you think, Krip?
This card synergizes very well with Angry Chicken, as well as other terrible beast cards. Makes them pretty good.
Yeah.
Like another thing with the hyena is like you drop a hyena on 2, and then it doesn't look very threatening, and then you coin the Houndmaster on 3,
Yep.
and then it trades up and then trades again. It's really good. Houndmaster is really good. But if you don't have many beasts, it's obviously pretty awful.
Trump?
Oh, and one thing I want to add, it makes the snapping snapjaw turtle or whatever into an absolute monster.
4-9, baby.
Yep.
Taunt. 4-9 with taunt. Trump.
I think Houndmaster is one of the best cards for Hunter, and is probably one of the cards that you would see a constructed deck based off of, since it's really efficient for the mana cost. Like, you compare it with Dark Iron Dwarf, and you get 1 less health, but you get 2 extra health on the buff. And you also
And
get taunt.
taunt.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Ooh, taunt. I would say in an arena deck, even if I had only a few beasts, I would still pick the Houndmaster fairly highly. And if I have Houndmasters, I will pick beasts slightly higher because of it.
Yeah, I think this card's really strong too. And you know what's funny is that I think everything else is kind of weak with Hunter. And I think they should actually make this a 4/4 and do it and keep everything, just to make it even more powerful to maybe offset some of the other stuff. Okay, let's move on to Multi-Shot. Another kind of board here.
I actually think it might be stronger as a 3/4 rather than a 4/3.
Okay, just 4 health. Yeah, I think anything with 4
Because
health.
a 4/3 dies to the 2 drops.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Multi-Shot. What do you think, Trump?
Wow. It's surprisingly hard to evaluate this card. I think it's above average. And I'm going to put it into like a range of, it might somewhere be between average and really good. I'm just going to sort of put it in the above average category.
Okay, all right. Krip?
I think so often when I'm playing against Hunter, I'm like, man, I'm going to make this play, but if you have a multi-shot, I am done. And then they do. So, I don't know. I feel it's like a very good card. It's very tough to play around just because you have to play something on turn 2 and 3, and you very often walk into a multi-shot.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, Multi-Shot, I feel like it's a really strong card, but it does have the caveat of it can only be played when there are there's multiple minions on the board, right? And
Yeah.
those cards can kind of be annoying. I've been many times where I'm just holding 2 Multi-Shots and I'm playing, I don't know, like a priest or a druid or something, and I'm like, oh fuck, I can't even play this card. It sucks. But yeah, generally I like it, especially the aggro decks being so popular these days. Unleash the Hounds. Okay, so this is the card that had the big change, and I think we talked about it a little bit, but it's been a couple weeks now. What do you think of this card?
I haven't played it yet.
What? You still haven't played it? Oh, okay.
No.
Trump?
Without playing it, just looking at the card, it looks terrible. Like really,
Yeah.
really terrible.
Definitely everybody's first impression is that it's terrible. Trump, what do you think?
I've also not played the card
Oh,
yet,
gosh.
and I think it's terrible, and I think it's so bad that I would actively not pick the card just to try it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, agreement. High five.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I've tried it. I've definitely tried it, and for the most part, I think it is a bad card. But I think it's worth experimenting with all you folks that are watching. Because there are kind of cool things about it, because you can... It's the one card that you can manipulate the number of minions on the board. So cards like Sea Giants can be played easier with it, and maybe even Frost Warlord and those type of
Yeah, I
things.
think it's mostly like Cult Master.
Yeah, Colt Master, Hyena, I mean Buzzard, right? I mean, there's things that it does, combo decently with. But as a removal card for the board, it sucks. It doesn't remove the board unless you're comboing it with like all the wolves and all the crazy stuff. So I think that whole impression is not correct for that card. And 4 mana is just too much. You just have to let your opponent play minions until it's actually somewhat valuable. So in general, yeah, I don't think it's a great card, but it's worth building though. Worth building and experiment with and trying to get creative.
What if it was still 1 mana? Would that be good? I think it'd be pretty good.
If it was still 1 mana, it might be like, I wouldn't say OP, but it would definitely be closer to being very, very good. But I think 2 mana would be about right. 2 mana I'd probably use, even like in a situation where there's only 2 or 3 minions on the board. I could see doing that. But 4 mana, I'm not going to spend 4 mana just to remove 2 1/1s. It's like, that's just not going to happen. I mean, okay, let's move on to Explosive Shot, another board removal card here. Trump?
Cool. Second best hunter card. It usually 2 for 1s, and in a pinch you can 1 for 1 on something really threatening. It's really good.
All right. Krip?
Yep. Really good. Kills the imps, yo. Fuck those things.
That's right. Tundra Rhino, the last of the Unleash the Hounds type of cards where you give Beast Charge.
This card is pretty good if you go YOLO Beast mode, because you feel really confident when this card has survived a turn, and then you have a full mana to drop all your scavenging hyenas and buzzards and whatever and run them into their creatures. So this card's pretty good, but you really need the deck for it.
Well, that's the choice that you have to make. Like, the times I've gotten to it where you have 10 mana, right? You have an additional 5 mana there, and you have all the combo. Do you play it then, or do you wait until you have the buzzard, because you have the buzzard in your hand too? That's a few of the predicaments I've been in. Trump, what do you think?
This card's another one of the traps. You pick it, and then you're tempted to go beasts, or you have beasts already and you pick it. It still turns out to usually be quite bad, I would say. Look at the stats: 5 mana, 2/5 charge.
Yeah.
I can get that with the Stormwind Knight, which is also below average of a card.
What? You be dissing the Stormwind Knight?
Yeah, I'd be dissing the Stormwind Knight.
That card is a monster.
One way to maybe buff the hunter a little bit is maybe make this card a little bit less mana wise, because then they could bring back at least some semblance of the OTK, and it wouldn't feel so bad, because you probably can't play Buzzard all the time with it. So maybe 4 mana. I don't know. 4 mana might be a decent change for it.
Yeah, why not a 3 mana 2/3? It's like a Warsong Commander.
Yeah, there you go. Warsong Commander would be good for these.
I think what really designates the strong aggro decks is they have like all these bullshit 1-drops. I think Tundra Rhino needs to be one of those bullshit 1-drops, like a 1/3. Your beasts have charge for 1, something like that.
What?
That's like almost Unleash the Hounds. I mean, except for the buff. God. All right. Here we go. Savannah
Unleash
Highmane.
the Rhino. Yeah.
Savannah Highmane. What you think, Trump?
Hey, it is the best card in Hunter. It's one of the best cards out there, although I still think Fire Elemental is better. It's comparable to it. It's really, really good. Not much else to say about it. You're getting a 10/9 of value for 6.
That's good stuff, Grip.
Yeah, this card is insane. until it gets polymorphed, and then it's like a cute little sheep.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't get polymorphed, it's a monster. So very good stuff. Yep. Absolutely ridiculous card. Um,
Yeah, not much.
I don't really rank things, but it's definitely very near the top.
Okay. Gladiator's Longbow. 5/2 at 7. What do you think?
This card is sick. I love this weapon. I even played it in
Really?
constructed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this weapon is awesome. I think as a hunter, you really can't take that much damage because you don't have that much life to work with.
Mhm.
So you can use it to control the board, or you can use it to just go for the opponent, and often you can. I think it's very good.
Okay. Trump?
I think the card is less good than it looks, just because it costs so much, and I like to think of it as like deal 5. I mean, it is basically deal 5 damage and deal 5 damage again the next turn. For 7, that's okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you have the hero ability. No?
Yeah.
14
have
in
it.
2 rounds, I guess, is what you're saying.
I just feel like you can go more YOLO because of your hero ability compared to like a warrior. Like you can't look at this and compare it to Arcanite Reaper.
Oh, definitely.
I
not.
mean,
It's completely different, yeah.
You could sort of compare it to a more flexible and cheaper Pyroblast just over 2 turns. In that case, it's like, yeah, okay, fine. But then I compare it to like Arcanite Reaper and it costs 2 more. And the only cost is you take a little bit of life. Who cares? Life doesn't matter.
So at 7 mana too. There's not a lot of great 7 mana plays, at least single cards. So I used to play it a lot when I was trying Control Hunter. Haven't really revisited that, so haven't tried
Like,
Gladiator's Longbow in a while.
I'll
I
even
would
go as far
often,
as to say that I think Arcanite Reaper is a better card.
I would
Yeah,
often
I think so, too.
play like the board control game with Gladiator Longbow in my hand and wait for like 9 and just get them to that perfect life total where if you killed my creatures it wouldn't matter. And I feel it's very effective at that. Just one of those cards that gives you a timed push.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're on our last card here, and it's none other than King Crush. Iconic hunter card. What do you think, Trump?
Oh man, I haven't played with this card too many times. I've drafted it a few times. I actually had one deck with 2 King Crushes.
Nice.
It's
How do you get 2 King Crushes? Man, that's crazy.
it happens. I think it's man, it's hard to say. It's just since there's so little experience in it, but I'm gonna put it in the slightly above average category.
Okay, Krip?
Not exceptionally good.
They never expect the crush.
Crush. What do you think, Krip?
They just think they never expect it. It's like, no player expects to take 8 extra damage the next turn from a hunter. It's like, what's up? And you get that like Jurassic Park sound when you play the card. It's
Yeah,
hilarious.
but it's 8 extra damage in addition to what you have on the board. It's not like you can do anything else with the card. That's the one knock against King Crush for me, is that like Rag's only 8, right? So you can actually do something with 2 mana. You can't do anything with 1 mana. I mean, you could unleash the hounds before, maybe add one to that, but 8 damage at 9, I don't know. It's I used to love this card. This used to be like finishing move type of thing, but I haven't been a big fan of it recently.
I've actually been King Crushed like twice, and one of the times I facelessed it and killed the hunter.
Oh, that's harsh.
I mean, I'll add
And
that
I wouldn't have won if he didn't play the card. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll add that even though people might not expect 8 damage, it's pretty safe to expect 7 since that's a kill command and a hunter shot. So
Yeah.
it's not like +1 is that unheard of.
Yeah, sure. All right, well, that concludes our hunter analysis. Why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll go into some Q&A and wrap up the show. So we'll be right back.